Welcome to Global Pulse, where the world's biggest tech and geopolitical shifts aren't just headlines, they're power plays. Today's story? It's a $7 billion shockwave rocking the global chip war. ASML, the Dutch linchpin of semiconductor machinery, just shipped a mountain of high-stakes equipment straight to China, ignoring U.S. export bans and stepping directly into a brewing tech standoff. This isn't just a business deal. It's a potential crack in Washington's global tech strategy, and it's got ripple effect from Silicon Valley to Shanghai. Here's the bottom line. One company's move just exposed the fractures in the West's united front, and the consequences could reshape the future of AI, electric vehicles, and global supply chains. ASML isn't just another tech firm. It's the only company in the world making the machines that build the world's most advanced chips. And we're talking about systems priced higher than a Boeing jet. Their top product, the EUV lithography tool, is absolutely essential for cutting-edge chips that power everything from smartphones to AI. For years, Washington's been leaning hard on ASML to cut off China. And for a while it worked. The Dutch government, under U.S. pressure, froze ASML sales of EUV machines to Chinese firms. National security, they said. Tech supremacy, they insisted. But in 2024, the story swerved. Despite sanctions, ASML didn't stop all sales. It kept exporting slightly older, but still crucial, DUV machines. And we're not talking spare parts. These are billion-dollar shipments to Chinese chip giants. Machines that, with the right tweaks, could help Beijing stay in the race. How big is this? China made up nearly half of ASML's revenue last year. Pulling the plug overnight wasn't just risky, it was borderline suicidal for their business. The Dutch government backed the exports. And in Q1 this year, ASML CEO bluntly said, if the U.S. keeps piling on tariffs, American customers will pay the bill. Translation? We're not eating those costs, you are. So, is ASML defying Washington, or just protecting its survival? Either way, this move lit a fire under the global chip war. And while the West argues over export licenses, China's sprinting ahead. In a twist nobody saw coming, China's top chip maker, SMIC, managed to produce 7-nanometer chips using only DUV machines, the very ones the West thought weren't good enough. No EUV? No problem, apparently. Then came the Huawei Mate 60 Pro. Built with a domestically made 7-nanometer processor, it caught the entire world off guard. Even the U.S. Department of Commerce was stunned. How did China do it? Simple. Money, scale, and raw urgency. Beijing's been pumping billions into its chip sector through the Big Fund 2, a $45 billion war chest. SMIC, Yangtze Memory, and others are getting blank check backing. At the same time, China's stockpiling ASML machines while racing to build homegrown versions. Insiders say a Chinese-built lithography system could debut by 2026. That's just one product cycle away. But it gets deeper. This isn't just about phones and laptops. China's chip ambitions are colliding with its dominance in electric vehicles. Right now, China controls a staggering 77% of the world's battery output. They're fusing chips and EVs into a single industrial push, integrating advanced processors into the very systems driving the next decade of transportation. And the West? The sanctions meant to slow China down may have only sped things up. Far from choking their ambitions, the export bans might have been the wake-up call Beijing needed to go all in. It's no longer about catching up. China's now pulling ahead in certain areas, and that has Washington's allies squirming. Across Europe, cracks are forming in what once looked like a solid wall of unity. ASML's decision to keep exporting sparked backlash in D.C., but also deep reflection in Brussels. While leaders in Germany and France still echo American talking points in public, behind closed doors, the mood is shifting. Companies are frustrated. Why should Intel get waivers while Infineon or STMicro face blockades? And why should Europe risk its own competitiveness to chase Washington's line? The EU's response? A serious rethink. Officials are calling for strategic autonomy, tech independence that doesn't tie Europe's fate to foreign sanctions. And at the center of that vision, ASML, Brussels just greenlit 47 billion euros for the European Chips Act. Visits from top EU leaders to ASML's HQ show one thing. They're not just protecting a company, they're defending a cornerstone of Europe's future. Because if ASML collapses under the weight of sanctions, the entire continent's tech ambitions could go with it. Just as Europe starts flexing its independence, Washington is doubling down, and it's getting brutal. With Trump back in office, 2025 opened with a tariff blitz. U.S. duties on Chinese imports jumped to a staggering 145%. Beijing fired back with 125% tariffs on American goods. And right in the blast zone, semiconductors, AI hardware, and the very machines ASML makes. The fallout was immediate. ASML missed its quarterly revenue target by nearly 1 billion euros. Meanwhile, NVIDIA, the AI chip juggernaut, saw billions in market value wiped out after its most powerful chips were banned from sale in China. Analysts say U.S. chip firms could bleed over $1 billion annually just from lost Chinese demand. Why so dramatic? Because this fight isn't just about trade. It's about artificial intelligence, the new arms race of the 21st century. ASML CEO called AI the growth engine of the global chip industry. But here's the kicker. NVIDIA sells up to 25% of its data center chips to China. Cutting off that market doesn't just hurt China. It undercuts America's own innovation edge. And now, ASML isn't just caught in the middle. It's getting hit from both sides. The U.S. just slapped tariffs on entire lithography systems and support services, making every export pricier and harder to move. ASML CFO was blunt. Those costs? They're going straight to American buyers. So what does this mean for the future? It means even with massive investments, the U.S. Chips Act and Europe's 47 billion euro plan, we're still watching the global chip supply chain fracture. Just when AI needs scale and efficiency the most, political walls are going up. And what used to be a single global ecosystem is now splitting in two. ASML's $7 billion decision didn't just rattle the supply chain. It exposed the deeper split reshaping global tech power. The old model, where American designs, Asian factories, and European tools worked in sync, is collapsing. We're watching the rise of two competing chip worlds, one orbiting around the U.S. and another accelerating under China's flag. And it's not theoretical anymore. Dual production lines, one for Western standards, another for Chinese compliance, are becoming the new normal. Intel, TSMC, Samsung, they're all adjusting. Some are even building separate facilities just to navigate sanctions. Meanwhile, Chinese firms like Huawei are on the offensive. They're building entire AI data center networks along Belt and Road partner nations, pushing their tech into Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. SMIC and Yangtze Memory? Scaling up fast. Some analysts expect China to roll out its own lithography tools by 2026, a direct challenge to ASML's dominance. And if that happens, the Dutch giant could be staring down a 20% revenue loss and massive layoffs. ING analysts have already raised red flags. For the Netherlands, the choice is no longer just diplomatic, it's existential. Even South Korea, one of Washington's closest allies, is shifting gears. In early 2024, their chip exports to China jumped by 41%. Seoul sees what's coming, a world where companies must straddle both systems or risk being locked out entirely. What started as a shipment has now become a showdown. ASML's gamble triggered a realignment in global tech, and there's no reverse gear. So what does this leave us? The next decade won't just determine who leads in semiconductors. It will define who shapes AI, who controls EVs, who owns the infrastructure of tomorrow's digital economy. ASML wanted to protect its business, but in doing so, it might have accelerated a new world order in tech, one where alliances shift, power fragments, and innovation becomes a battlefield. So, Global Pulse community, we want to hear from you. Was ASML right to defy Washington? Can China really thrive without EUV tools? And will the U.S. tariffs protect or sabotage its own AI future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you learned something today, and subscribe for more unfiltered insights into the battles shaping our global future. This is Global Pulse, where geopolitics meets innovation. See you in the next deep dive.